Hey everyone, Cash here, back with another video from Madden 15, and today we complete the offseason with the best part, the NFL draft. We went through re-signing players, free agents in the last video. Go ahead and go back and check that one out if you missed it. But on to the draft, taking a look at our picks, we have 2 6-rounders, that's all that's extra. And then looking at the team, we need a starting strong safety, we need a possible starting left guard, we need another right side linebacker with Lance Briggs, an old guy, and then Arthur Moults. We need to look for another outside linebacker. Center, Travis Swanson there, but we need to look at a possible starter or backup at that position. And then left end, Devin Taylor, we need another left end to back him up, or possibly start in front of him. And then quarterback, we need a third quarterback, a project quarterback, someone who we can stick behind Stafford and Rivers. And in those positions, I kind of showed you in the order of importance. So we're kind of looking at strong safety, left guard, center as our top picks. So starting it off, the Vikings didn't win a game last year, and they are rewarded with the first pick, and they will take a quarterback, Patron Pedersen, the #1 overall player. So unlike last year when we were able to grab Matthew Arnold, who was the projected #1 overall, #1 goes this time, so it's over for Mr. Bridgewater there. The Colts take a D tackle. #2, #3 is going to be the Broncos. They take Leffie Marshall, a center who actually we scouted, and I don't really like him too much. I don't think he's going to be that great of an overall. A middle linebacker goes at #4. So far, nothing, no real surprises. No one we've really been looking at or thought we could get. Albury, a right side linebacker. That's the first outside linebacker to go. Another D tackle goes 6 to the Raiders. The Titans are going to pick 7. They take the first wide receiver, Quindarius Greco. What a name that is. #8, left tackle, goes to the Dolphins. The Steelers take a tight end, so still no real surprises. Our first corner goes to the Buccaneers at 10. 11, the Chargers will take another outside linebacker, so we see a little bit of a run of those going, but still, I'm not seeing anyone that's really surprising here. No real reaches yet. LaCambrick Hickman, first left side linebacker, goes to the Giants. The Bengals have a couple picks here. They're going to take another outside linebacker. The Eagles will take Kelsey Barnes. So here's the first strong safety taken, and this is where we're kind of in that range where things could start kind of going awry here as the Bengals take their second pick of the first round. They're going to take a D tackle. And here, we're going to pause it, take a look at the draft board. There's a few guys that I really have my eye on. I've been scouting players all season, so there's a few that I have identified as being pretty good from what I can tell, so we want to see where we're at here with that. So you see the list of scouted players here. Raheem Gator, a left end, I think looks pretty good, someone we could possibly go after. At strong safety, Calvin Cooley is the next best guy, and he's an end of the second rounder, so already just one strong safety that was graded out in the first round, and we've already made it to the second round guys. But looking at the stats, Calvin Cooley looks to be pretty good, the best out of the bunch. But as we look down at the bottom, there is another guy there, Jazz Miles, a 5th round grade who actually has pretty good speed, so might be someone that we can look at instead. And then at center, there's a couple guys there, but also 2nd round grades. And then on the right side, there are a few guys here, and this is probably maybe where we're leaning to in the first round, as this has the most guys graded out in the first. But taking a look at the stats as we run through here, there is one guy here that kind of stands out. And if you haven't gathered that yet, it is the third man down, Travion Pittman, all A's for speed, hit power, tackle, looks to be a very good player. Actually has a C awareness, so we are going to definitely look at him. But another guy I'm looking at here is Raheem Gator, and he looks to be the best option at the left end position. So we'll go through a couple more picks, see who gets taken. But the Jaguars take Raheem Gator the very next pick. So we've missed out on him. So at this point, it looks like we're going to be focusing on a right outside linebacker, which another one goes with the next pick. So at this point, some of the guys that we are interested in are coming off the board. So we might have to look at trading up here. A tight end goes. The Packers then take a wide receiver. The Cowboys at #20. And here I'm going to pause it. I know the Cowboys need a running back. And now that we have Matthew Arnold as I think an established #1, we have a piece that we can offer up to a trade, and that is Reggie Bush. He can save us some money by getting rid of him. He's probably actually now the third best running back we have. So we're going to offer him up to the Cowboys. But you see there, the yellow interest, they probably aren't going to want him, but we're going to offer just Reggie Bush, see if we can just get something going here. We'll offer the trade and then see what they think, although it doesn't even show them as being one of their top 3 needs. But I did go through every team, look at who they had at running back, and the Cowboys do need a better running back. And then we'll wait here. It just says pending, but that means they are going to reject it. They take a D tackle. So now the Ravens are up, and I know the Ravens as well need a running back. So we are going to go back to the trade screen. We're going to throw Reggie Bush on there once again, but he's a red, so immediately I know they're not going to accept that. So we're just going to say forget it, and we will advance through the Ravens pick. We'll see who they take here, as we have just, and they're going to take a tight end. So we're in a position here where I feel like we need to get someone that is going to be an established starter, that real first round grade. So the Patriots don't want Reggie Bush, but the Patriots do need a wide receiver. So we are going to move to wide receiver, and we are going to offer up Golden Tate. And at this point, I think I made a mistake. Golden Tate, you see there green, the Patriots want him. I decide to tack on a 4th rounder. I probably should have, either offered a 5th rounder or tried to get a pick back from them, but I offer Golden Tate and a 4th rounder for the 22nd pick, and they will accept this. So we have traded for the 22nd pick in the 1st round. We've moved up in the draft. Pick number 22, we will now go to our board as we look to grab someone before anyone else can take them off the board. A couple of the guys we were looking at have already gone. We do pick 9 picks from now, but I felt like we just could not chance waiting that long as some of these good guys come off. And at this point, the guy I'm interested in is Trayvon Pittman. Has a 2nd round grade, but his stats, his grades look really good. So we're going to jump on Trayvon Pittman. Hopefully he can be our right outside linebacker for many years to come. We will take him there, and now we will move through the rest of the 1st round. Really no other trades will be made. We're just going to take it down to our pick at number 31. The Redskins here at 23. They take another D tackle. Many D tackles being taken in the 1st round here. And then here we see the Panthers take a center. J.W. Poole was one of the 2 options at center I was looking at, so that one is gone. That means there's only one guy left, but we don't want to make any more trades up here, so we are just going to hope and pray that someone will still be there in our pick in a couple here. Another tight end gets taken by the Panthers as they trade up for another pick, and then another tight end to the Chiefs, which means we have someone available to take. No trades needed. So we will go back to our scouted players, straight to the centers, and Stanley Werner, the only other guy that I really like at center. You take a look at his stats here. A, run block. B, pass block. Far and away the best of those 3 guys we have scouted there. Looking at some of the other positions, left end, just to kind of see who's there. Sidney Wallace, not bad. B, but nowhere near what Rakeem Gator was. And then at strong safety, Calvin Cooley, a 2nd round grade, but actually has pretty good stats. And actually now speaking earlier, as we go through the stats here, you see he's got B zone coverage. His play recognition is C. But as you go through the rest of these grades, you'll see towards the bottom a guy where you see here now speed B, but we see some A's down there at the bottom. Cooley, that's the only knock on Cooley was his speed. Speed was B, but Jazz Miles, all A for speed, acceleration, agility, not bad coverage, and he's a 5th round grade. So we decide not to take the strong safety now. We can wait, possibly get Jazz Miles later on, or there's some other guys there that maybe we can go after. And we are going to take Stanley Werner. We're going to shore up that offensive line. So with 2 picks in the 1st round, I think we've solved our issues at right outside linebacker, at center, and now we will look to finish off the rest of those needs here in these upcoming picks. A left outside linebacker gets taken to finish off the 1st round. Wide receiver goes to the Vikings with the start of the 2nd round. We see a tackle going, and now at this point, there's still a few guys that we can possibly take, and we are just going to see where the chips fall. The first quarterback goes, the 2nd quarterback doesn't go again until the 2nd round there. Sojourner goes. See some left ends going here. A corner to the Colts. Calvin Cooley, and there is Calvin Cooley. So he gets taken early. He was a 20th pick in the 2nd round grade. He goes with the 9th pick. So that means we're kind of all in here on Jazz Miles. As you see, a tight end taken, Chucky Reedy, another guy we were looking at right outside linebacker, but we've solved that issue there. Lewis Terry at end, a wide receiver to the Eagles. Another quarterback goes to the Dolphins there. And there is Sidney Wallace. So that was the really last remaining guy we were looking at left end. So what that means is at this point, left end, I don't know if we're really going to have anybody to take there, at least not in the first couple rounds, but we're going to pause it here, take a look at what's available. You see there we got Jazz Miles at strong safety in the 5th round. Left end, there's some guys there, but 3rd round, 5th round, 7th round, some guys way down the list. At left guard, there's not really anybody there. The best option is going to be Damico Morris here, as we'll come back across and we'll see what his grade is. He's a 4th round, and then Jerry Crosby is a 3rd rounder, but still 2 guys that not going to be picks in the 2nd round. And actually we have quite a few picks left here until we get to our picks, so we'll see if any of them get taken. We see a left guard get taken there. Another corner, the Patriots at 22 take an outside linebacker. The Redskins at 23 will take a left end, so another left end gets taken. A corner goes to the Panthers with the 25th pick, another tight end. A lot of tight ends have been taken in these first 2 rounds. Left end again, corner again, right guard, Burnett to the Rams. And here, Jerry Crosby, 2 picks before we pick, and the left guard has been taken. That is unfortunate. What an unlucky draw there. The Colts get him, and then a corner goes to the Chiefs. So here we go. Here is our pick in the 2nd round. We have Damico Morris there, but he is a 4th round grade. I don't know if I want to take the risk of jumping up to get him there. Jazz Miles even more so, even though he is our best option at strong safety, just still a little bit too much. And then looking at everyone we've scouted, we have outside linebacker, quarterback, center. So not really anyone that's really jumping out here. So we're going to take a look at the trades, see what's being offered. The Redskins are offering a 2nd rounder next year with a 5th this year. As I said earlier, I made the mistake probably of trading away our 4th round pick. So let's see if we can jump back in later on in this draft, pick up another pick, because there are a few positions we still need. We decided to take the Redskins offer, so we grab another 2nd rounder next year that hopefully will help us out later on. And then we get back in this draft a little more with another 5th round pick, which maybe we can use to trade up. But at this point, we've paused it midway through the 3rd round to take a look at who's there. Damico Morris, the only remaining left guard we have scouted. So there is a guy of need. Jazz Miles still sits there at strong safety. So still too early, I think, and especially after we just traded back. Not a position to trade up right now, I don't think. And here we go. 2 picks again before we go. Damico Morris, another left guard is taken. So that means left guard is out. We're going to have to find a left guard in the free agency market. So here we go. Pick 31 of the 3rd round. We will see who is available. And at this point, not many of the guys that we had our eyes on. Jazz Miles is there, still that 5th round grade, so I think we still have some time before we take him. Now, looking at just everyone available, we have a lot of halfbacks, corners, wide receivers at the top of the draft. No positions we really need. We probably do need to draft a wide receiver at some point because we traded away Golden Tate, so we'll look there, but not something I am going to address in the 3rd round. So again, a situation where I'm not really seeing anyone. I don't really want to reach on anyone. So we are going to go back to the trades and see what is being offered. You see some 4th rounders, 5th rounders, 3rd rounders. But here we're looking for another pick in this draft. So we are going to trade our 3rd rounder for a 4th rounder and another 6th next year, as we really, the 31st pick, excuse me, in the 3rd round is essentially a 4th rounder. So we just move back a little bit, grab another pick for next year, and then we will move ahead to that pick in the 4th round, where you see a strong safety going right before our picks. So we'll go to the board, and we're going to see Jazz Miles here. Now, the best, almost the best of our scouted available, and we are going to jump on him. So we take Jazz Miles in the 4th round. Now we move ahead to the 5th round, where we are going to see who is available. And at this point, no one else is really available that I'm really liking. You see Jeffrey Delgado, that's the guy I talked about that I really like, that quarterback, and he is the only scouted quarterback that is graded out into a round. And then some of the other positions, wide receiver, I didn't even scout any wide receivers, so I didn't think we'd have to take one, so I have no idea what's going on there. I'm not going to take a risk with those at this point. So going back, I decide we're going to jump, even though Delgado is a 7th round grade, we're going to jump at him just to make sure we don't lose him, because we've lost enough guys that we wanted to draft. I don't want to lose him here. Last quarterback in a grade for a round. We're going to grab Jeffrey Delgado here in the 5th round, as now we will move ahead to our 2nd 5th round pick. And here, I know there's not really anyone that I want to take. We picked up Jazz Miles. At this point, anyone else I want is later on in the draft, so we're going to take the opportunity to pick up another pick for next year's draft. And for this, it's just deciding who I think is going to be the worst, and I settle on the New York Jets. So we pick up another 4th rounder for next year. This draft not really going how I had planned, so we're kind of moving a little bit out of it, picking up some more picks for next year. And then at this point, I go to make a selection here with our next pick, and the game freezes. I sit there, wait for it. Nothing happens, so I have to quit. I load it back up, and the game has picked for us, and they've picked us a wide receiver, which I guess that's the best way to do it, because at some point I was going to take a wide receiver, and it was going to be random. They take the best available, Jeffrey Ferguson, so our 6th-round pick is going to be a wide receiver, and at this point I'm glad we've traded away some of our picks, because this draft has kind of fallen off the rails for me, as now we move ahead to our next pick, and looking at the best available scouted, nothing really there, so we're going to go back to the best available. And now we're just going to take the best available route here, I think. And halfbacks are aplenty at the top here. So I think we're going to end up selecting from one of the guys up there at the top. As you see who else is available, a lot of just random people. And then focusing on the halfbacks, we have Tyreen Pottitt and Avius Clay. And I am going to end up going with the guy at the top, the speed back, possibly to replace Reggie Bush if we do end up still getting rid of him. As I said, getting rid of him would save us some money. So we'll see what happens with him. And then with our final pick, still a lot of halfbacks and wide receivers, so we're going to do what we do best with this last pick. We're going to trade it away. We are going to pick up another 6th-rounder for next year's draft. We will take the Rams 6th-rounder for next year off their hands. So we have a lot of picks for next year's draft, but this year's draft is finally over, and it's mixed feelings from me. We'll take a look at the rookies. And here are the overalls. Travion Pittman, immediately disappointment. A 72 overall, but you will see in a little bit why not necessarily a bad thing. A 78 for the center. Jazz Miles, an 82, so we score big on the 5th-round grade of Jazz Miles. 74 for the quarterback Delgado, and then the 2 random guys, not that great. Looking around the league, the Panthers, J.W. Poole, the other center we were looking at, we won there. He was just in 71. The Raiders, just 3 picks in the draft. Not a great draft for them. The Rams, a pretty good draft. Top heavy there, 75, 80, 83. But gets a little bad there, but then picks back up. They pick up an 84 D tackle late in the draft, a 74, 72, 76. Very good draft from the Rams. And then the Seahawks, pretty bad draft, 182, but otherwise 60s and 50s for them. The Steelers, their draft is Calvin Cooley, an 85, so a little bit higher rated than Jazz Miles, but I'm still happy that we got Jazz Miles. 5th-round grade, a huge win for us there. And then you take a look at the rest of the Steelers draft. The Bengals, pretty good draft for them. They pick up a couple 80s, a handful of 70s, a 57 though, a 64. The Buccaneers, they win the award for worst drafted player. The 32 overall free safety here. They get a bust in Javier McFadden, although I'm pretty sure that guy has a really good speed. And then the Colts, they have a pretty good draft. You see Gary Crosby there, the left guard, a 79. He would have been a starter, so unfortunately we missed out on him. And then the Falcons, they're going to win our draft here. They pick up a 76, a 74, 71, a 78, an 80, and a 69. Almost all 70s. Just the 162 actually is the worst pick, and he's towards the beginning of the draft. But that is a look at a few teams around the league. But that is it for the offseason. We take a look here at some of the guys still available. Jay Cutler has not been signed. You see a few of the wide receivers. We still need, I think, to add another wide receiver. We'll look to add one of those before we start the preseason. Left guard, we need a left guard. There's a few guys here. Zane Beatles, they have an option as a backup, as I don't think we're going to find it. We're not going to find a starter here, at least. Left end, again, not going to find a starter here, but there are more than enough guys that we can grab to be a backup. But as we move back here, that is going to bring us to the end of the offseason. The draft, I'm going to say we had a much better draft last year. Pretty disappointed this year. Did not go quite as well as I had hoped. We did grab a couple good players. I think we have a couple starters for sure. We'll see what we can do with Pittman. A little disappointed we had to give up Golden Tate for him, but Keyshawn Martin been very good the last 2 seasons, so he will be able to step in as that slot wide receiver. And then otherwise for next year, we have a lot of picks for next year. 2 second-rounders now, a couple fourths. I think we have 3 sixths, so a lot of picks for next year. We'll reload here. We're going to go through the preseason. I'm going to show you, I'm going to split the preseason in half, actually. We'll take you through all the cuts. I will go through and add a bunch of free agents. Before we start the preseason, I'll show you everyone who I added. Take a look through the roster, and then we will be on our way into season number 3. But that is going to be it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe to see any future videos that I make. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.